Many thanks for joining us. I'm Linda Ogutu. Players in the private sector have been challenged to partner and invest in health to ensure delivery of quality medical services to residents in Nandi County. Dominic Biwott, the Nandi Deputy Governor, said public-private partnerships will supplement efforts provided by the county and national governments to improve provision of health services to citizens, providing good opportunities for investment that will also create job opportunities, improved business activities, and quality livelihoods for residents. Biwott was addressing residents at Chebiamet Health Center in Mosop Sub-County during the World Tuberculosis Day marked yesterday. The Deputy Governor said all health institutions have drugs for the disease and urged residents to go for tests and seek early medication if diagnosed with the disease.
Even if it is among these doctors here, if you are saying you are ready to invest in a private hospital in this county, we are willing to let you go and invest and bring quality services back to this county. To me, I don't think there is a problem if someone changes from a government official to an investor. It's even a blessing because they understand the trends of health in this county.
Embu County Assembly Deputy Speaker Ibrahim Swale has pleaded not guilty to conspiracy to murder charges leveled against him. Swale was arraigned in an Embu court to answer to charges that on 4th of March this year, he conspired to kill one Maurice Mushiri Nyaga. After pleading not guilty, he was released on 100,000 shillings bond pending the hearing and determination of the case. In a packed courtroom, Swale pleaded with the court to have his 2 mobile phones confiscated by the investigating officers to be returned. The principal magistrate Robinson Oigara, however, declined the request after the prosecution informed the court that the mobile phones were still in Nairobi for further investigations. The hearing of the case will be on the 1st of April, where a protected witness will give a testimony before the court. Right, let's now turn our attention to graft diaries. Remember, we have been staying on this topic since last week, and this afternoon we reveal to you how 4 state agencies withdrew money from the exchequer without parliamentary approval. A total of 8 billion shillings was withdrawn, raising questions over the state's commitment in ensuring proper expenditure controls. KTN's Abiagina carries on with a continued coverage of the graft diaries.
The country loses close to 1/3 of the budget each year through dubious expenditures within government circles. To put it in context, according to the Office of the Auditor General, Kenya loses an estimated 300 billion shillings annually. This is enough money to fund all the 47 counties for 1 year and still have a net surplus of about 50 million shillings.
And determine the credibility of any of the evidence any of us has presented to you. If you are to make a determination, for instance, Mr. Chairman, that none of the evidence I have submitted before you.
We know this journey is replete with challenges. It is also full of hope and promises.
In the latest report compiled by the Parliamentary Accounts Committee, PAC, covering 3 years from 2011 to 2013, serious concerns are now being raised over the inconsistent expenditures being incurred by the government.
We will sustain strong action to combat this evil and all its manifestations.
From the PAC report, excess expenditure incurred during financial year 2012-2013 without parliamentary approval totaled to 38 million shillings, 495,253 shillings, compared to a whopping 7.4 billion shillings recorded in the previous year. The excess expenditure of 38 million shillings, 495,253 did not take into account pending bills totaling to 43 billion shillings, which, though relating to the 2012-2013, were however not settled in that year, but were instead carried forward to the financial year of 2013-2014. The Parliamentary Accounts Committee in its report following the unapproved expenditures notes, and I quote, It is the committee's considered position that expenditure without parliamentary approval constitutes a grave violation of the Constitution and must be severely punished and ceased forthwith. The committee recommends that stern action be taken by the appointing authority against accounting officers and treasury officials responsible for the breach of the letter and spirit of the Constitution. The DPP should also seriously consider prosecution. Further, the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, must promptly institute stringent measures to ensure fiscal discipline in the public sector.
Corruption remains a major obstacle to our national development agenda. Government processes will become more transparent in 2015. In addition to the existing menu of policy and institutional frameworks, my government will digitize public service transactions to make them more transparent and thereby eradicate the opportunity for corruption. The war on corruption must be won.
The sums withdrawn to be used by the 4 state agencies seem to paint a picture of the growing fears of government spending taxpayers' money without following the appropriate channels. Ideally, for a state agency to incur additional expenditure outside the already allocated budget, the Cabinet Secretary is by law required to table the estimates in Parliament to seek its approval. The sums of money spent without parliamentary approval in the year under review total to about 7.5 billion shillings. So what really can this money do? For a start, this money is enough to fund half the cost of the Outer Ring Road project, estimated to cost 14 billion shillings. Better still, this amount can fund the construction of 3,000 kilometers of road under the government's road annuity plan. The mind-boggling figures of amounts lost or unaccounted for paints a picture of a country at the mercy of officers who do not feel they have to follow the law when using public money. Even more frustrating for the taxpayer is that nothing ever seems to be done about it.
Let's now focus a little bit on party politics. Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto says he may be forced to end his allegiance to URP if Deputy President William Ruto continues with what the governor has called dictating terms in the party. The governor accuses the Deputy President of high-handedness in running the affairs of the party. In an exclusive interview with KTN's Aaron Ocheng, the governor reveals that he will work with opposition CORD to ensure that more funds are sent to the counties.
Pleasure to have you, Governor Ruto, on the program. The current budget, there's proposal to increase some of the allocation to the counties. Would you say now that is a little bit heading the way that you wanted, or is the amount now satisfactory enough?
No, it remains tokenist. The changes that the cabinet is proposing at the moment are those changes that simply reflect the growth of revenue, but has no relationship with what ought to move. The Constitution talks about resources following functions, but in these situations, the resources haven't followed functions. When we talked about, when you asked the question about how far we've gone on devolution, for example, the only thing that we've devolved is basically healthcare has developed to a certain extent. I cannot quite see any other issue that has basically devolved. Roads are still the preserve of the national government.
So would that also imply now that the push for the referendum is still on?
Yeah, the push for the referendum is still on, and it may have to take a better and stronger dimension, because as it is, Kenyans may have forgotten what it was. But you see, it will take certain situations to force these matters onto the scene. And if we wait for too long, we will revert to the old methodologies where the center continued to hold and continued to disburse funds.
And maybe some people, some quarters have labeled you as a rebel URP member. How would you respond to that?
What is happening at the moment in URP is that we seem to have reverted to the old ways in which the leader has it all. He no longer needs to call consultative meetings. He no longer needs to get everybody on board. And if you have a different idea, you are branded as a rebel. Currently, URP calls for total obedience to the party leader. That is what we refused under ODM. And that is what we refuse under URP. And that is what we are going to refuse under whatever methodology. Take, for instance, the movement to JAP. There has been no consultation on any such movement to JAP. And therefore, you don't expect me simply to follow when others run away and form some other strange outfits. There has to be consultation all the way down to the grassroots so that we move together.
Would I be correct if I say your relationship with the deputy president is frosty?
I don't know what frosty is in your towns, because I know frost to be water that has grown cold. I don't think we've grown cold that much. So allow me not to borrow the word frosty. But sometimes we see things in different perspectives. And most of the time, at the moment, we are pushing ideologies that seem to differ.
At some point, are you going to see yourself probably sharing the same podium with the opposition in push for the referendum?
Absolutely, yes. I see no reason why we cannot share the same podium with everyone else who would like to push issues similar to those that we are pushing under Pesa Mashinani. If CORD is pushing the same ideas, why would I say I've got nothing to do with CORD? If JAP jumps onto the Pesa Mashinani bandwagon, we'll share the platform with JAP. If Sisi Kwasisi joins us on this push, that's okay. So I see nothing absolutely wrong in sharing platform with either Wetangula, Kalonzo Musyoka, or Raila Amolo Odinga.
Going by similar trends, you might as well jump wagon and join the opposition.
I don't know to whom I will be opposed to, but I've always continued to remain opposed to those who want to continue to hold resources at the central level. I believe in devolution. And if you want to check, I have believed in that all the way. If you want to check the weekly review of my elections in 1997, I clearly indicated that I believed in another different way of doing constitutionalism, and that the thing that obtained at the moment, I did not quite consider it to be appropriate. So in this situation, I'm simply telling you that if my party continues to shift more and more to become anti-devolution, obviously then I will not be with them on that.
You're watching Newsdesk. Thank you for staying with us. We are taking a short break, and when we come back, we'll have more of business news and, of course, what Abiagina likes to call bank assurance, and tell you what that is. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with Newsdesk. Let's now take a look at some business news. The KCB Group has entered into a partnership with CMC Holdings that will pave the way for asset financing for consumers intending to purchase commercial vehicles. The partnership is expected to see a number of small and medium-sized enterprises benefit from the discounted prices, even as KCB and CMC join hands in growing their market share as well as sales volumes. For KCB, the move into asset financing is key to growing its SME lending business that has grown over the years. A number of banks have recently been turning to asset financing to tap into the growing needs and demands of entrepreneurs seeking to grow their businesses. Auto dealer CMC is looking to benefit from the partnership by increasing its sales volume. CMC is looking to turn around its fortune after losing most of its car franchises to rivals.
Because of the way financing was structured. Many times when you went to a bank, people would say, where is your pay slip, or where is this? A very focused type of maybe pay slip based lending. But when you come to SMEs, they have unique challenges. Some of them are seasonal. Some of them don't have traditional ways of financing, are not very, very suited. So if you want to focus on the SMEs, you have to look at them very, very differently. Like in this particular case, this is asset-based financing. So you're actually using the asset itself. So when the SME is acquiring the asset, you're able to say, in terms of security, you're not asking them, go and bring another piece of land. This is what we call self-securing type of financing. So that is one thing you're able to do for them.
Give our SME sector a chance to come and see what CMC is made of, to come and see what solutions we have, and the fact that these solutions cater for all the sectors of our economy.
The Insurance Regulatory Authority has issued new rules for players in the bank assurance business. The guidelines are, however, still in the draft stages and will be subjected to stakeholder participation before they become law. The draft proposes training for all persons selling insurance products as well as full disclosure when a customer is buying an insurance product, among a raft of other regulations. The insurance regulator made this announcement during launch of Bank Assurance Survey 2015, a survey conducted between January and March 2015, focusing on both banks and insurance companies in Kenya. Top on the list of findings by this survey was the lack of public awareness on available products, which hinders commercial banks from selling insurance products. This is followed by legal issues, integration and operational challenges. According to findings prepared by Lloyd's Research and Consulting, commercial banks also lack adequate skilled staff that can enable them sell insurance and have been facing opposition from insurance brokers and agents who view banks as competitors out to grab their business. Available figures indicate that penetration of insurance products is still low at 3.4% in 2013, still below the global average of about 6%. Now take a look at sports. The Kenya national team has departed for the World Cross Country Championships in high spirits and confident of a good show at the global showpiece in China. Kenya will be represented by a team of 24 athletes who have been tipped to tear apart the hilly Guyang terrain come Saturday. The Kenyan team ditched its traditional black, red, green and white national colors for a suited look as it departed for the World Cross Country Championship set to go down on Saturday in Guyang, China. Many have tipped the Kenyan team to put up a good show, as it has been the norm in the history of cross-country running. The team will arrive in Guyang 2 days before the championships, but head coach David Letting says that will be enough time to acclimatize.
It will be between 18 and 22. And maybe in the afternoon it will be a little, shower, small rain, which is not a big problem to our athletes.
Kenya will, however, not have it easy this time. Ethiopia, Uganda and Eritrea have also put together strong squads for the World Cross Country Championships.
We are not going to have any pressure. We'll run our race, we use our tactics, and then we will see what will happen.
The Kenyan team to the 41st edition of the World Cross Country Championships departs the country after a whole month of extensive training at the Kigali Teachers Training College, and the stakes are high. And with the training acquired, athletes like Geoffrey Kamoror will get to the course with confidence of reigning supreme.
I'm prepared and I feel good, and I have whatever it takes to have it.
Kamoror, who is the World Half Marathon champion, is taking part in the 12 kilometers senior race for the first time and hopes to replicate his 2011 junior performance when he won the world title.
The training I'm doing before, I ensure that I'm doing things with quality.
The World Cross Country Championships will be held on Saturday starting 7 a.m. Kenyan time. Kenya Premier clubs, which lost their second round of matches last weekend, have an opportunity to redeem their glory today when 7 matches have been scheduled. However, a tie pitting defending champions and log leaders Gor Mahia against Sony Sugar at their Wendo Green Stadium has been rescheduled owing to the fact that a number of the team players are out on international duty. 8th placed Mathare United, who defeated Thika United last Saturday, will play Chemelil Sugar. Tusker FC, who lost by a solitary goal fall to Ushuru FC climbs a slippery mountain against Ulinzi Stars. AFC Leopards will play Top Fry All Stars, who are yet to pick up a point. Moroni Youth will be hosting Sofapaka. Bandari takes KCB, while Western Steamer welcomes Nairobi City Stars, who are on a redemption mission. And that's Newsdesk for now. Thank you for watching, Kate. And remember, we have another update for you at about 4 p.m. I'm Linda Gutu. Good afternoon.